And let's take a look at where negative exponents might come from. So let's say we have x times x times x. That's just x to the third. Right? If I do it again, if I want to go up one, x times x times x times x, that's going to just simplify it, x to the fourth. So if I multiply, I'm going to just get the next number up. So if I want to go in the opposite direction, I can divide by x. So if I take this and divide by x, I'm going to end up with x times x, because I end up with a giant 1 right here, right? So this is x squared. If I divide by x again, I end up with just an x, or x to the first. If I divide by x again, remember x divided by x is just 1. That's actually, if I continue down this pattern, that's where x to the 0 power is 1. Right? And then I can continue this process of dividing. 1 divided by x, well, if I continue this process going down, that's just negative 1. Okay, again, if I divide by x, that's the same as saying x times x, which is 1 over x squared. And that's actually what comes out to be x to the negative 2. All right, so now I can use some of these properties. I can use this relationship to do some of the problems that you might have seen. So our first problem that we looked at is x to the negative fifth. So if I follow this pattern down, I'm going to end up with 1 over x times x times x times x times x, which is x to the fifth. The problems then become a little bit more complicated. I can have negative exponents in my numerator and denominator. So this becomes x to the third, let's say y to the negative second. So same idea. I'm going to ask myself, keep it or move it. If it's negative, I'm going to, like this, I'm going to move it into the denominator. So this keep it or move it, this one gets moved. X, oops, let me move my arm, x squared. Keep it or move it, that stays the same. Keep it or move it, because this is positive, I'm going to keep it in my denominator. And then keep it or move it, since it's negative, I move it. So this becomes y squared. And this actually just simplifies to, this is to the first power, right? So I have y, which is y to the third. And then I have x. I have 2 of them here, 3 of them here, all by multiplication. So this is x to the fifth. All right, so now I can also take groupings of numbers. Let's say I have 2x to the third raised to the second power. In fact, let's just throw in a negative here. What does that mean? This means I write whatever's in my parentheses twice by multiplication. So sometimes I write my parentheses first and then ask myself, well, what goes in it? So now I have negative 2 times negative 2. Remember, this is all by multiplication. 4. And then I have x to the third, 3 here, and 3x's there. Give me x to the sixth. So make sure you understand what that power means. It means multiplication, this written out twice. If I have the same problem, let's do the exact same problem, except let's change it to negative 2. Again, this whole thing gets written as 1 over negative 2x cubed squared. All right, it's following that same pattern there. Now I'm just going to take this answer, since I already solved it. This is 1 over 4x to the sixth. Because this is essentially this problem, except it sits in the denominator.